Hey everyone, welcome to your Capricorn Super New Moon reading that's going to be happening on January 2nd of 2022. So first of all, Merry Christmas. These are coming out on Christmas Day, so if you celebrate Christmas, a very Merry Christmas to you. And I'm excited for this reading because I'm going to do a reading for each of the zodiac signs. But first of all, I just want to talk about, it being a new moon is all about a new beginning that's coming about and perfect for a new year, the start of a new year. So we have that new moon energy coming in, but as I mentioned, it's a super new moon as well, which a super moon is, like the Earth, the trajectory of, or the orbit of the moon around the Earth is not like a perfect circle. So like, let's say if this was the Earth, it's more of an oval shape. So when it's close to the Earth and when the full moon happens, it's a super new moon because it is actually closer to the Earth. It's not like significant where it's like, super, super close, but it's closer than it is normal. So it appears bigger than it normally would. That's why it's called super. But it also impacts like the tides and impacts our emotions. Usually moons impact our emotions anyway, but when the orbit is closer to us, it is even more amplified. It's even more influential. So just be aware of that. And of course, this is going to be the Capricorn new moon, which I'm going to talk about the influences of the Capricorn energy around the new moon here in just a moment. But it's also, I wanted to mention that there is this cyclical, like there's always a cycle of a new moon to a full moon, back to a new moon every 28 days or so. But there's also the signs rotate about every 6 months. So like this new moon in Capricorn is the ending of a cycle of when it was in a full moon in Capricorn, which was back on June 22nd of this year. So if you look back in June of the 22nd and see what was going on around that period of time, the endings that start to happen as the light moves away from the full moon to the new moon is the letting go of things. It's the changing of things. So from the last new moon before that up to the June 22nd full moon in Capricorn, there was growing, there was, amplification, forward progression in whatever seeds you planted on that new moon in Capricorn before. And then you get up to the full moon, and then the full moon to the next new moon is about the changes that you make to prepare for this new moon coming up. So if you want to kind of look and see what has been falling away or changing since June 22nd up to this point, that'll also give you an idea on, what's going on there. All these cards are from this deck here too, just in case some people have asked. Moonology Oracle cards. So if you love these, it has a great little book that comes with it that really goes into the influences and some of those things as well. But for the Capricorn new moon, again, it's a time for like this newness that is coming in. The energy is so perfect to set like new goals. And make new concrete plans, even take a step or two towards those plans, especially if it's towards your professional life. And if you're like have something that you're doing as a dream that you're doing on the side, it could even be about how making that your profession, your career, instead of just a hobby and something that you love to do on the side. Because the time is ripe for new, improved work cycles. And so it brings this ambition, this feeling and energy to build, and really a lot of energy to put in a lot of hard work. So it's a good time to like make a list of your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions, your intentions for the year ahead. And you can even have like a little mantra that says something like, the harder I work, the more blessed I get. And so this does have a lot of work energy behind it, as far as you feel motivated. You do want to do the work and invest it to get what you want to do. So it's a great time to, put those plans together and make a movement forward. But we're going to dig into each of the individual zodiac signs for more specifics for you. And we're going to jump into that reading right now. All right, all my Virgos, this is your Capricorn super new moon reading, and we're going to start off by pulling a card here from these Queen of the Moon Oracle. And this is just going to represent what the Creator wants you to know overall for the entire 3-week period around this new moon, which would be the week before and the 2 weeks after. So Creator, for our Virgos, what would you like them to know about this 3-week period for this super new moon? All right, there we go. And you have the Will, and that's card number 13, and we'll put that right here. And I love this. Feels like the power of choice, realizing your power here. It says decisions require action. You're in control of your own decisions in life, no one else's. Passion and will determine a great proportion of your success. You will persist. You possess free will, which means you should focus on yourself first and avoid placing your will over another's, or vice versa, right? Allowing other people to try to put their will over you. And the affirmation for this is, I have the will to make the changes I need. It says will feels like a very old-fashioned concept. In a modern world where it seems like everything is geared up to be as easy as possible, or there's always someone else to blame, the idea of placing our personal will persistently into something seems quaint. When we decide we're going to change something in our lives, let's say a particularly negative pattern or bad habit, breaking the old way we do things can be difficult. The change requires a concentration of our will. We may want the change, but it is our will that insists we stay on the path to that change. To be willful means we have the power of control over our own actions, and that will fires up the persistence we need to get what we want. Contrary to popular belief, in witchcraft traditions, practitioners do not interfere with another's free will. This means we do not cast spells upon people to influence their behavior. How do we get what we want instead? We cast on ourselves in line with our will, focusing carefully on what we would like in our lives instead. For example, instead of casting a spell to get back our ex-boyfriend who doesn't want us by influencing his will to love us again, we more ethically cast upon ourselves for our ideal partner. This way, we don't interfere with his free will, and if the ex is our ideal partner, he'll return to us freely. If not, we have attracted someone new and better for us. Either way, win-win, right? So to use our will productively, we should assess what we really want and make sure this is what we want to reach for. And the companion stone for that is hematite. And I love that, because this is about, finding out what we want, what we're willing and desiring for our own life. And that's the whole thing about, we will never make a change when it's someone else that's wanting us to make a change, and it's something we don't want, right? We might act like we are, but then behind the scenes we're doing what we want anyway. We only make change when we want it and when we're ready for it. When our fear of making change is outweighed by the ugly feeling of not making the change. And we're going to dig more into this as well, of course, and we're going to use these Revelations Tarot and just see what else the Creator wants you to know about this 3-week period. And we're going to pull cards for each of the 3 weeks, the week before, the week after, and the second week after. So for the first week after, what else do you want our Virgos to know, please? Okay, they want to these two, and this one. And then the week after the new moon. Okay, they want this one and this one. And then the second week after. Okay, and then 1. Well, 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right, so let's dig in here. And so the week before the new moon, you've got the 2 of Swords. So I like this because this is all about making choices, right? And swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And so when it comes down to making a decision, you're like, okay, which way do I go? Which way do I go? And that's where this will comes in. You choose which way you're going to go and what you're going to do. I love, like, in a lot of regular tarot, you'll see, like, here's the giant moon behind there, but usually they have, like, this blindfold on because you have 2 choices, and they come from 2 different places. One is from your earthly self, your human self, the shadowy self, ego self, the one that is rooted in fight or flight, all those opinions of the outside world, all those expectations, the shoulds, the need tos, the have tos, the supposed tos, and those decisions made out of fear usually don't take us in the direction that's in alignment with our higher self, right? Not in the direction of unconditional love, which is what the other choice is, which is our higher self. So there's 2 of you that are living this life, your human side, your shadow side, and which is like kind of like the character or the avatar in this game. But the actor, the real player of the game, is our higher spiritual self, that powerful, supernaturally eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. And that's where this moon comes in. It's like connecting to the lunar energy, connecting to the higher realms. And so you have this choice to make. And this card showing up is basically saying, be aware that you have 2 to choose from. And we recommend connecting to your higher self, to your eye in the sky outside space and time that sees everything from the up above. So if you're in this maze and not knowing where to go, when you connect up above, you see the maze and you can make decisions based on your gut and your instinct and connecting to the other realm, right? Yep, and here you have Justice. So this basically is the same message. Got the Ace of Swords in the middle. You have these balancing, scales here. One of the scales is your human side, one of your scales is the spiritual side, and it's about this having this beautiful balance in between, realizing that you have 2 places to choose from. 11, 1 and 1. There's 2, it's 2 of you. When you look at an 11 that way, because 1 plus 1 is 2, right? And so this Ace of Swords also allows you to see to the spiritual side and see these capital T truths of the higher spiritual realms. And it also gives you the power to cut away those thoughts and those beliefs that no longer serve you. It knocks, some of all that pressure and that stress off of your scale to bring this balance into your life where, you bring in some knowledge of how this world works, but you also bring in this hidden and unknown knowledge, a new viewpoint from up above in making these decisions and with your will and this power of choice that you have. Because before you come down here as a soul, you do choose, this is the human that's going to represent you. This is when you come into this game, when you leave the game, and here's all these fated events in between. But within each of those fated events, you have this will, this power of choice on what story you're going to apply to that circumstance and what emotion you're going to choose to feel during that circumstance. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it's a choice at all because it has become a habit and a reaction. All the condition you had growing up and all the kind of reinforcement that you had regarding those beliefs have, made it such a habit that it's a reaction. So this happens and you feel this way, this happens and you apply this story to it. But if you take deep breaths and have this awareness of that you have the power to choose differently if you so wish, then this brings in this beautiful power of yours. And this is like this week that is really having this big aha around it. Yeah. Because ta-da, the sun, which is victory, which is awareness, which is brightness, shining down on you. You're realizing the, all this knowledge. You're seeing the the difference between the two, this brightness that's shining the light into the darkness. It allows you to see things so much more clearly than you had before. And so this is that you're successfully seeing these things, and you're able to choose the things that make you feel lighter and brighter, like the sun, right? So I love that this first week before this new moon is coming in, you're already taking advantage of this beautiful supermoon energy. Then the supermoon hits, and then you have the week after. And during that week, you have the Ace of Cups. And this is beautiful because cups are your emotions. The Ace of Cups is like the Holy Grail. It's the golden chalice. And what is filling up within this cup is the most beautiful and strong emotion that you can feel, which is the unconditional love of the creator of all things. It's the living waters. And this is you filling up to where you feel full, and then everyone else gets the overflow. And so, this choice that you're making is a choice for you. You are putting your, I want to say your needs first, but it's putting your needs first. It's allowing you to choose you, because if you're giving of your life essence before you're full, then you're giving bitter waters. You're giving resentful waters. You're giving waters full of expectations. But when you fill up with this beautiful, unconditional love energy from your core, realizing that you are unconditionally loved, and then you are unconditional love yourself, you fill up, and then that love pours out to everyone else. And it's a sweet, beautiful love that has no expectations, and it's sweeter than anything you've ever given them before. So this is a beautiful awareness that comes with this power of choice that is really, coming in, because you're not concerned about, the choices that you're making, how they're going to impact others, because you realize, one, that they're choosing how they're feeling, and no matter what you do, they could still choose to be unhappy. And so this is also you realizing that, I'm making decisions for me. I'm going to tell people no, and I don't want to do something, but I'm not going to be a douche about it. I'm going to be loving about it and go, oh, you know what? I really can't make that. But what I love to do, can we do something the following week? Maybe we can go do this, and see what they say. And so it's not a rejection for them. It's just they are understanding that you have something else going on, and sometimes no is a complete sentence. But because you love people, I know you want to, not hurt their feelings. So you can say something along those lines instead of, I'm not able to do that, but what about this? And offer an alternative. That way they don't feel like you're blowing them off, unless you're wanting to not hang around that person and just say, I just can't right now, but, let's circle back and we'll see if we can, reschedule something else. And then you just delay it, because your feelings may change, in a couple weeks as well. So anyway, all that for all of you. I know it's a general reading, so it'll be different for different ones of you, but there you have it. And then you have the Knight of Swords. So this is beautiful because all this swords action going on here with your thoughts and your beliefs and your mindsets. This Knight is about movement of your thoughts and beliefs. And again, he is carrying the Ace of Swords here, so you continue to take action on cutting away these thoughts and these old beliefs that no longer serve you. They did serve you for a time to bring you the experiences and everything that you wanted, but now you're ready for new ways, higher ways, and so you are making this beautiful movement into this like sunlight, into this new brighter place. You can even see like the sun is shining here. And then, of course, all that brings you into your final week, or the second week after the new moon, and you've got the Tower. And this is beautiful for you too. I know it doesn't look that beautiful, but there's a great story behind this. And it kind of starts off with the Wheel of Fortune card, actually, because the Wheel of Fortune is kind of a little bit what I talked about, how before you come down here, you are this beautiful higher soul, and you do choose, to come down here. And so, I think I already kind of went into it with, You know, you have all these fated events that are happening in your life, and you get to choose within each one of those what it means and what emotional choices you are making around it, what story you're applying to it. And so you have all that things, all those fated events unfolding. Or where the Tower comes in is that, you know, there's been something that's been in your life up to this point, or we'll say up to this point, since this is where the Tower card is. And that could be a relationship of some kind, whether it's romantic or a family or friend or work relationship, or with your fur babies or your feather babies, whatever it might be, in some type of relationship. Or it could be some sort of situation like a job or education. Or it could be something like in the physical world, like your body or your possessions or your finances. So something has been happening in your life on purpose for a purpose, because, you know, that whole journey taught you that life is unfolding for you. It's not happening to you. Life is not an out of control drama train, you know, with the train about to jump the tracks and dramatically fly off the rails and blow up in this gorge. It's like a monorail train where you're moving with the monorails attached to the tracks, so it doesn't flip off of it. It moves smoothly. It has its registered stops for everything. And so you realize, okay, life is unfolding for me. And you move from victimhood into victorhood, right? If that's a word. But this thing that's been in your life to bring you all this stuff for you, this, in order for you to experience these other fated things on the other side of this thing needs to be removed out of your life. And what this normally has is like a big lightning bolt that's hitting it, which there's a lightning bolt on here. You kind of see it going. And usually there's someone being blasted out of the tower and someone jumping and leaping out of the tower. And the getting the electric shock treatment and getting blasted out of the tower means that it's being removed out of your life for you to experience those other things. Well, if you are in tune with your higher self, and instead of being in the chaotic energy of fear and all that noise, you have purposely, you know, you're in this unconditional love place, focusing on unconditional love and joy and laughter and peace. That's the frequency of spirit. And if you're in that, you can actually hear the countdown of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And you don't have to experience the electric shock treatment if you don't want, because if you hear the countdown here, you can remove it early if you want, because that means it's going to get removed, and you have this opportunity to remove it a little earlier if you want. Now, no judgment, no shame if you have the electric shock treatment of the lightning bolt and the tower situation here, because a lot of us want to have all those experiences right up to this place. So when that happens, and this thing in the second week after the new moon gets removed out of your life for you, that can be that it's being removed, or you're starting to hear the countdown during this period of time. And you, again, will get to the choice, the free choice. Are you going to remove it earlier or get the shock treatment? And it's totally up to you, but it's the awareness when it happens that it's happening for you and it's not happening to you. So I loved, like, this message is just all about your power of choice and realizing how powerful you are, because all your emotions have been your own and your own choice. All of your stories you've applied to any situation have been yours, either opinions from the outside world that you took on as the story, but you're the one who applied it. And I know in the beginning, I'm like, I was a little angry when I learned that, because I'm like, you're kidding me. You mean I'm the one to blame? Because I had all this blame stuff going on, right? But when I realized, I'm like, oh no, there's no blame, because there's no judgment. It's just choices. And because I made those choices, I can actually look back and make new choices about what things meant. And I have the power from this moment in the now and all future nows that I get to choose what everything means and how I'm going to feel. So it becomes a very empowering card and a very empowering place. So I love this message for you. What a great way to start the new year with all this Capricorn energy too. So I don't have anything else to add there. I'm going to leave it here. Just want to let you know too, in addition to these readings, I do monthly readings by each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates by each of the elements like fire signs, water signs, earth signs, etc., and several other type of readings throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those messages and be notified immediately when they become available, if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button down below. That's going to make this notification bell pop up. When you click on that, that'll take you to your notification settings, and you can just choose to be notified immediately. And also, if you want to help share the love and share these messages, if you don't mind giving this video a little thumbs up and click that like button, that just allows the YouTube algorithm to share these videos and make them like the suggested videos for others, the more that they're liked. So if you want to help with that, I greatly appreciate it. Never any pressure. So if you choose not to, no harm, no foul. We're all cool with it. But I just want to make sure you're aware that you can share that if you'd like. All right. Well, just know as you're going throughout today and every second of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing 3-week period around this new supermoon, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care.